Welcome to Chant a Day. We are here again. Today is the 5th of June. We're going to today. Whew, electricity, electricity. Electricity has been out. It was out first night, that you call last night. I say first night. And it was out until maybe 3 in the morning, and then it came back, and then it went back out again. So we have an electric power emergency in the Virgin Islands. We're going to be real about it. That's what it is. It's an emergency. It's a pandemic, an epidemic of high proportions. So I can't stay long on this live because I don't know when it's going to go out again. So let's get started with our psalm today. Our psalm today is all the way down to the end of the Psalms. It's 148, I believe. Yeah, 148. And the verse of the day is coming from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. And it speaks of, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. So the verse today is speaking about keep on lifting people up. You know, I talked about this, I believe yesterday, where folks are putting people down. They put people down, and they label people. They label them either this, they label them a monster, they label them petty, they label them above everybody else. So when you are labeled with these different attributes that you know are not you, you have to question the source. You have to question the source. Who is accusing you of being petty? They were the first ones that were petty. Who's accusing you of being above everyone else? You know, you have to look at the source of the accusations. So when people accuse me of this or that, or blame me for this or that, I look at myself and I examine myself, but I also examine the person. Who is it that is the source of that information? Are they a reliable source? Right? Are they a source that is you should value? So when you have loved ones who you love and they're the ones who are putting you down, they're the ones who are verbally abusing you, you wonder, do they really love you, or do they just love what you can give them? So the questions arise. The questions always arise when it comes to encouraging one another and building each other up. This is from 1 Thessalonians. That's what we have to do. If I speak about something that you don't like, that's not a reason to label me as this or label me in a negative way. That's a opportunity for you to encourage and to build yourself up by what someone is speaking to you about. So I don't like to go on the attack and attack people, but there are some times when I'm attacked unjustly, really. So electricity returned. However, that still does not address the issue or the problem of electric companies being monopolies. And in the Virgin Islands, you can have a monopoly. You can have one utility company that runs all three islands. And if somebody else's utility company wants to come in and give better rates and better service, you got to go through the legislature, because the electric company is a government-owned company. It's a government utility company. So they don't want competition. Doesn't that sound like a dictatorship to you? It doesn't sound like your vote really counts. It doesn't sound like when you vote, you're voting to have electricity. You're voting for people who don't have any gumption to fight for the poor people on the island who are suffering. We have a big dynamic on the island. We have the rich, the wealthy. We have billion-dollar houses hanging off the side of the mountain. And then we have local people who are indigenous to the island that are suffering, literally suffering. They don't have the basic necessities that are afforded to a democracy, to a democratic form of government. This is a dictatorship government, okay? Jeffrey Epstein had his own cell tower. The government gave him that. So why can't the government give the people electricity? They can give somebody a cell tower. So when that happens, that shows you where the value is. The value is not in the indigenous people. The value is in the money that somebody has to pay off this person or that person to get what they want. So Jeffrey Epstein had a big cell tower where he was engaging in nefarious activity through cell phones. Okay? The commissioner of labor at the time for the Virgin Islands, who was in charge of labor, is now the governor. How convenient is that? Okay? And this is what we call a democratic society. So the Democrats who are talking about democratic society, it's really, are you really there for the people? Are you really there for the poor people? What are you there, just to suck the blood of the poor people? That's what's happening really, because with no electricity, the poor people still have to pay for electricity. No matter if it's off for 2 days or 3 days or 1 day, they still have to pay for the electricity bill. But the billion-dollar folks who own big houses hanging off the side of the mountains, okay, what is a electric bill? They can get solar panels. They can get off the grid. They have the money to do that. Jeffrey Epstein had the money to get his own island and his own cell tower. So what do you think? People coming in here with their private planes every single day. And there's still not a public high school on the island of St. John. There's still not a public preschool is being built. There's no public library that's working because people's egos get the best of them. And instead of putting that aside for the community, they allow that ego to stop them from hiring a librarian. Can you imagine that? This is an island that is a territory of the United States of America now. So what is going on? Why can't there be free enterprise, free business where a utility company like TXU, Con Edison, or any electric company can come in and set up business? Why? Why does one government have the ownership on the utility company? That makes no sense, and nobody says anything. No one is up in arms about it. Everyone is like sheep to the slaughter. Sheep to the slaughter. They're corralling all the people into a death trap, because without electricity, people can't run their CPAP machines. The people who have asthma can't breathe. What about, again, there's no hospital on the island of St. John. It's a little tiny clinic. So what about folks who need the electricity to run the machines? People are on life support systems. What happens to that when there's no electricity to run a life support machine. They're going to die. So this is what's happening, everyone. I'm going to highlight it for you all in the USA so you can know what's happening to your territory, because you all are owners of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Well, Virgin Islands of the United States. And it's a territory. And there is a congresswoman who represents the Virgin Islands to no avail, because they can't vote. The Virgin Islands is not allowed to vote for anything. So it's important. I lived up in the hills without electricity. I get up, I had my candle, I had my fire that I would make my hot tea. This hot tea that I'm drinking would be made on the hot 3-stone fire, so I don't have to wait for electricity. I lived that way, and it was beautiful. I didn't have an electricity bill. I lived in the hills. I cooked on a 3-stone fire. That's the best kind of way to cook food, not on a gas stove. Gas is not good. Electricity, as you can tell, isn't even good either. So we have to return to the ways of our ancestors. We have to return to our ways of our ancestors, because otherwise we're going to be sheep to the slaughter. Sheep to the slaughter. And I get people texting me, how are you supposed to work without electricity? I'm going to have to shut my business down or sell my business or something, because I can't do business in the Virgin Islands. How can you? Because this is not going to work. And that's why my dad left. He left and went to a different island, a British island. Different island, same masters. And I haven't even started the psalm yet, because this is just so perplexing. However, we're going to get to the psalm. It's Psalm 148. And we need this. We need this immensely because of the situations that are happening. Come, Bubba, lay down. Good boy. I got to take him outside. He's got to go. So, in verse 1, it talks of praise the Lord. What does that mean, right? It means to chant to what is righteous. What is righteousness? Goodness, mercy, and love. Let's make music to that, right? Thank you. I need to design my own generator and get into designing it yourself. Hydrogen tech. Thank you for Wealthy Minded. So, in this chanting of song to righteousness, we're going to use that knowledge of righteousness to build our own electric generator. We got to do something, right? I looked at how much a generator costs. It's $1,000 at Home Depot on St. Thomas. $1,000 for a generator, which I think I'm going to have to get. Everyone who does business on the island must get one. So, we have to chant songs to righteousness, okay? The songs that are on the radio now is, I don't know what's happening. So this month I celebrate Black Music Month. Jimmy Carter in 1979 declared June to be African American Music History Month of some sort. So I am celebrating Black History Month all through the year, all year long. So each month we're celebrating the Black experience. So for June, it's about music. I start with Steel Pulse, Chant Day. And Steel Pulse's Chant Day echoes in the Black experience. From the Caribbean, from Jamaica, we have reggae music. We have the music of kings That is the Nyabinge music. We have the ancient music of songs that have always been a staple in the black community. It's always been part of the black experience, okay? The gospel music. Using songs while you're working on the plantation, work songs. So, songs have always been part of the black experience. So, when I look at the psalm today, Psalm 148, it's all about song and chanting songs to the name of righteousness. And righteousness has many names. So, we are not limiting ourselves. That's your personal business. What name you call. That's your personal business. You go into your prayer closet, your communication closet with God, with Lord, with Jesus, whoever you want to, whatever name you want to call. I use the ancient names. I liberate from the enslaved shackles of the slave master's religiosity, and I unleash the liberated word. Okay? So, some people might not like that. Some people may embrace it, like, oh my gosh, thank you for liberating the word. Some people are not ready for that. Some people, like during Harriet Tubman times, did not want to be free. They were satisfied with being a slave, taking care of a master, and having the master take care of them. So, I am not here to change anybody's ideology. I'm not here to change your way of thinking. I'm here to liberate. You don't want to be liberated? You don't want to purify your words in the fire 7 times? That's fine too. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to turn that fan off because it's loud. As you can tell, I just turned it off. And let's turn that one up. It's hot. There's no AC in this box. I'm in a box. It's, I attached a deck to it, but it's a box. It's heat. It's uncomfortable. It's just, I cannot begin to explain how uncomfortable my office and my dwelling place is. However, I'm going to give thanks that I have a space. Even though it's uncomfortable, I have a space. It's making me grow. So like a seed planted in the soil, it has to be uncomfortable and it has to burst out of the shell. This is what's happening to me. I'm here and I'm uncomfortable. I'm bursting out and I've outgrown this shell and I'm moving ahead and moving forward, right? So in that same expression, we have the Psalm of 148. So we're going to chant. We're going to give thanks. Typo. So we want to chant ISIS. We want to chant ISIS. I use the word ISIS. ISES. So I take PRA off because a prey is going to be eaten. If you look at what a prey is, PREY, but it has the same sound. So you see how words can be spells and they can be hidden influences that we are unknowingly speaking into our lives. So I speak love, I speak liberation, I speak strength and power into our lives. So we want to chant to righteousness from above. Okay, we have to seek for what's above. We want to chant righteousness in the heights. We want to chant righteousness, all the righteous angels. We want to chant righteousness, all the righteous hosts. So Psalm 148 verse 1 and 2 really kind of sets it off in terms of what is praise the Lord mean. It means to chant righteousness to what is above. Seek for what's above, not for what's below, right? So all the angels are going to chant for righteousness. We're chanting for righteousness, all the hosts, okay? Verse 3, we want to chant for righteousness, sun and moon. Chant for righteousness, all the shining stars. Chant for righteousness, you highest heavens. and the waters above the heavens. We take the you out. It's not about you. It's about the I. You are an I. Don't you stand like this? You're not a U-shaped curve like a hunchback of Notre Dame. You stand tall like the letter I. So you are an I. I and I, a collective team, right? So in verse 5, we look at let righteousness be uplifted. Let us chant music to the name of righteousness. That's your personal business. For righteousness commanded and righteousness created, and righteousness established for all time to come. Righteousness has been established. I told someone we were with the Creator in the beginning. We were there. We were with the, I mean, it is just so awesome to be in that realization that we were with the Creator, right? We were there. And that is powerful to me, to have that knowledge and that understanding. Why is this doing that? Okay. So because of that, we have that commonality. We have that relationship. So we're going to chant to righteousness, to the name of righteousness. For righteousness commanded and righteousness was created. Righteousness has been established for all time to come, and righteousness gave a decree, and righteousness shall not pass away. It's going to be all time. So verse 7, righteousness, chant righteousness to the Most High from the earth. Great sea creatures and all deeps, fire and hail, snow and mist, stormy wind, fulfilling the righteousness of the word. Mountain, excuse me. So, where was I? Okay, Psalm 148 verse 7. Chant righteousness from the earth, great sea creatures and all deeps, fire and hail, snow and mist, stormy wind, fulfilling righteous word. So verse 9, mountains and all hills, fruit trees and all cedars, beasts and all livestock, creeping things and flying birds. So there is all of that is encompassing righteousness, right? Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all rulers of the earth, young men and maidens together, old men and children. So everyone is going to give this righteousness, okay? Everyone. Sorry, you all, for this flipping of the phone. It's I gotta tighten something up. So righteousness, to me, is what this psalm is about. Okay, let righteousness be. Let us chant songs of righteousness. Right? Let us chant songs of righteousness. For righteousness alone is exalted. Not a human being, not a person, but the acts of that person, the works of that person is exalted, right? And that righteousness is majestic. Righteous majesty is above earth and heaven. So we know heaven is above. Hey, come here. And the earth, right, is below that. We are on the earth. Gravity keeps us here, right? So we have to, because of that, we have to seek for what's above. And in verse 14, the end of the psalm, righteousness has raised up a horn for righteous people. And that horn, remember I mentioned Ethiopia is shaped like a horn, right? It's called the Horn of Africa. So that horn is expressed in this psalm, and righteousness has raised that horn up for the people, and chanting songs for all righteous saints, for the people of Ethiopia who are near to righteousness. Chant righteousness to the Most High. Now, it speaks of Israel in verse 14. I take that out because let me tell you something. Israel is in the Bible as the chosen place, right? Ethiopia is in the Bible 41 times or 44 times. It was taken out and Israel was put in as a nation building strategy. And the Bible was used to build white supremacy, capitalism, and colonialism. Those two had a baby. Capitalism and colonialism got together. They, had a baby called white supremacy. So white supremacy is a thread that's throughout the Bible. You see darkness and blackness as negative and sin and death, right? And then you see whiter than snow as sacred and as the best. So it's been that way. And people who are black are also sometimes under this influence of white supremacy, where we have this infighting, this microaggression among black women with each other. Okay? And we have to get over that. We have to learn that we have been divided by a divisive oppressor. And when you divide people, you can conquer them easily. So in that division and in that divisiveness, black people are shooting and killing other black people. We have black on black crime. We see black women not speaking to black women. This one don't talk to that woman because this one, she wants her man, or this one wants her boyfriend, or some craziness that's superficial, that is just illusionary. So we have to come to the knowledge that black people have been excluded out of many of the tables, okay? Many of the tables. And one of the tables is religion. Religiosity, scripture, the Bible, black people have been taken out of it. And they've been deemed evil and bad, and justified oppression has happened. So I liberate the psalm and I uplift the word and take out words that are negative and uplift the positive. So that is our psalm today. And our verse today, I read the verse today from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, which talked about encouraging each other. Stop putting each other down. When somebody says something to you that you don't like, don't discourage them. Don't do that. Lift them up. Lift them up. So this is the divine order. The divine order is our words today. Divine order. We have two words, divine and order. I trust the process of life. So in this word today, divine order, for June 5th, you can take out your little daily word booklets and follow along with me as I translate the words divine order. And it speaks, when I clean out a closet, the process of organization can look messy. And I did that. I cleaned my closet out. I still got to do the top part. As I sort the items, I'm establishing a system of order, giving everything its proper place. And that's why, as a librarian, I like order and I like to put things in their place. So that's why I'm a librarian. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. That's what we do. I'm establishing the system of order. So after the project is done, things will be taken out and put back again. Like my summer workshop, I take stuff out, I use them, and then I have to put them back again. And what happened last summer or the previous summer is I left my books on the pad on the deck and they got wet. Yeah. I lost 175 children's books because of that mistake. So I have to pay for that. I have to pay for that myself. So anyway, in the I use the power of order to change and adapt as often as necessary. In the same way, I use divine order to maintain equilibrium and keep my life in balance. I need to do that. I have a busy life. I am a researcher. I'm a family scientist. I am an educator. I am a professor. You have to go up the ranks from assistant to associate to full. So I am at the bottom. I'm an assistant professor. And being all of that and being a mom, being in relationships with other people can be hard because I have all of this going on. However, when I look at yesterday, the 4th, that I use Tuesday as my Sabbath, and I rest on that day. I didn't rest. I did not rest on that day. So I am trying to have a day where I just do reading, maybe writing, and just meditating on the scriptures. And that for me is Tuesday, because in Ethiopia, that's what the Sabbath is, Tuesday. So I am familiarizing myself with that place so that I can be, part of that historical power of Ethiopia. So it's important that I have a day where I can do that. I can just rest. So divine order in the word today gives us that. Just as I trust the ocean's tides will ebb and flow and the seasons will change, right? I trust I can keep my life in order, just like the order of the day. I find comfort in the rhythms of the universe and use the rhythms of the universe in my daily life. So I create and maintain structures and routines that give stability and safety while life feels chaotic, right? No electricity. We got corrupt people sucking up the energy. It's just corruption, right? When I feel that life is throwing that, I affirm divine order and rest assured all will be well. As it is now, electricity has returned. I don't know for how long, but it's returned and all is well for now. So, Psalm 147, verse 15 is what supports the divine order words today. Righteousness sends out a righteous command to the earth, and righteous words run swiftly. Okay? So Psalm 147 is talking about the righteous word and the importance of that word swiftly becoming part of you. So in the liberation of the word, this is what I am trying to accomplish. Okay? So I'm thankful for the word today. Divine order. I'm thankful for the verse today and for the Psalm today, 148. The verse today is from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11. Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. So keep on keeping on. Remember, you got to chant a psalm a day to keep the negativity away. You want positivity to surround you. So have a blessed day. The best tea, roasted dandelion. Chant Samade. Have a blessed day. Go chant Samade. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you how I make this noonie oil.